Every July, for nearly a decade, a group of people travels to northwest Montana to work on behalf of the Blackfeet Indian Nation. They call themselves the Blackfeet Volunteer Medical Corps. This is their story.
Well, I'm Blackfeet, and I'm proud to be Blackfeet. And we live out in the middle of actually the end of the road, and we lack for medical care to take care of all of the needs of our people. We're very limited in what services we do provide to our people.
The challenges that we're faced with in Browning, and I think on every reservation, is the highest is drugs and alcohol. Unemployment, hypertension is a problem, obesity.
It's really important to our community. If we didn't have a hospital, where would we go? We have no place to go. And most of these people here, the people here don't have no insurance, health insurance. So the only place they got is this hospital.
Heart of the reservation in Browning, Montana. The way modern medicine is that if things are cost prohibitive, they give them a pill. It might be a pain pill, it might be a pill of some type, but the actual procedure that our people need doesn't happen, so they have to go without.
Contract care does not approve usually the diagnostics unless it is life or death. So unfortunately, those people were deferred. Those people meaning like for dermatology, hematology, rheumatology.
The people here at the hospital seem to be overwhelmed with the multiple tasks they have to do, with the red tape and routines and lack of service that are provided by our government, who has promised to do a much better job than what they actually do.
The Indian Health Service is probably severely underfunded by Congress, and probably that's due to the fact that there's no political clout there. In general, I think the care here is not up to the standards that we would expect in our general population.
Well, right here in our own country, our fellow citizens, our fellow Americans, there's tremendous need in regards to so many aspects of their life, but certainly in regards to their health care.
I came here once in the middle of winter to be involved in a hepatitis program, and when I arrived in January, it was 20 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. That's without the wind chill. And it was unbelievably cold, just unbelievably terribly cold. And that's very isolating, very, very isolating, because people tend to be kept inside, and it will promote more likely drug abuse and alcohol abuse.
These are people within our borders. These are people who are Americans in every sense of the word. We shouldn't be so critical or so opinion of ourselves that we don't think that they have something to offer. Culturally, religiously, they have lots to offer. We just need to tune into what are their value systems and how can we assist them as fellow Americans.
Maybe 8 or 9 years ago, I was walking in the hall and this doctor walked up to me and we just started visiting, and then one question led to another, and then the next thing I knew, he said, "My name is Dr. Matthew, Joe Matthew, and I am here to donate my time," and I've brought out, several other specialists, and we were able to take from the contract care deferral list, and almost every patient was seen in whatever area they needed to be seen, in the specialty area, dermatology, GI, hematology, wherever they needed to be screened.
Dr. Matthew and his group of people have been a godsend. The nice thing about Dr. Matthew's group is that they afford to the Browning Hospital services that we otherwise couldn't give to our people. The other thing they do is they add a new perspective for other medical staff here to see how medicine is carried out in other parts of the country.
I was asked originally by Dr. Matthew, who is a good family friend, he's also my physician, to come out to Browning to help with his medical crew and actually to do the construction work. Started about 5 years ago. He gets together this group once a year. We help these people out quite a bit with our construction.
There's a lot of worthwhile work to do here, that there are people who need the help, that the people we've been helping are the elderly, the infirm, the people who can't do it for themselves. And it's the same with the medical mission, that they're working with people who haven't been able to be serviced by the Indian Health Service.
Mostly what I've done so far is hang up drywall, and then I've done a little bit of mowing the grass, but we're working on a bunkhouse for I guess 16 future residents.
Did quite a few wheelchair ramps. Actually, the last time through we did quite a few wheelchair ramps, and that was probably the skill assisting one of the carpenters and getting that stuff ready, and at least knowing some of the tools that they needed. And actually there was an older couple on the reservation that had been waiting for a while to get a storm door put up on their house, which seemed pretty simple in my estimation, but he said he'd been waiting for about 2 years to get it put up.
About 4 years ago, I wound up going in just for a physical, and he diagnosed a heart problem with me, and I started seeing him more often, and because of that, we started talking about his adventure out here, and he says, when I get done with my surgery and that, come on out, and I says, when I retire, you got me. So he pretty much kept me alive to come out here to do the electrical.
One day my dad went to get a checkup, and he came home. He was telling me all this stuff about how Montana is great, and he asked me if I wanted to go with Dr. Matthew and everybody. And I just said, sure, it sounds fun.
My wife Debbie was a patient of Dr. Matthews. Happened to talk to Deb about 5 or 6 years ago about what he was doing out with the Blackfeet Indian Nation, and as a result of that, she came out 1 year without us and then talked us into coming out the following years. And I've been out here 5 years, and we finally got our last child here, so Ryan's working with us this year.
I myself have Cherokee blood, so it was kind of, you don't have to convince me we're in.
My wife wanted me to come.
I met Dr. Matthew about 7 years ago, and I'd been wanting to do volunteer work all those years and really was unable to find a good venue for that. It was very appealing to be able to work in a situation where I could take care of people who were in my country, and particularly the American Indians.
He and his son had come out, and it was an experience he just couldn't quit talking about. And you know, it gradually grew on us, so our curiosity got us to get involved too.
Yeah, my dad talked me into it.
We went out on a hike after working one day on my first year, and he was close filming a moose, and a calf and a moose, a cow and her calf. And the leader of our group, I guess, wanted to keep people together and not make sure that we stayed out of danger. And so he went back and to tell Joe to catch up with the group, and I went back with him. He said, "Joe, we've got to keep with the group." And Joe said, "Just go ahead." He said, "I'm a risk taker and I always have been." And I think doing something like this is a perfect example of a risk taker.
He was always so enthusiastic about becoming a doctor, and that enthusiasm, I don't think, has lessened one bit even after 40 years of practice.
He's never lost his enthusiasm. He's always had this great love for the Blackfeet people.
He puts all of his time and effort into whatever project he's doing or involved in. He gives it his all.
Great perseverance. To pull this together every year, to organize this is a major feat. In years past, it's been very difficult to get cooperation, not really cooperation, but just coordination with the Indians and the labor and the materials, and get it all on site so that when we're here for that 1 week, we make the biggest impact we can possibly make. To me, that's pretty incredible and speaks very strongly to the type of man he is.
My own philosophy is that we should leave this world in a better place when we depart it than what it was when we first entered this world. There's a personal satisfaction of giving of oneself. I don't have much problem convincing people to come out. Through my experience over the last 9 years, I find that many people are anxious to give of their time and talent, but very few people ever ask them to do so. So it's rare that I find someone that says, "No, I really can't go," etc. But if they do say that, they often say, "Well, contact me next year or 2 years from now, I'd love to go." So many times it's just a matter of asking.
Dr. Matthew is just an angel sent from God.
A world-class organizer.
A lot of concern for people, human people, just in a human level. He puts himself out there.
He's a pretty good doctor.
About 3 years into starting the program, one of my patients had commented they would love to join and go out there with us, but they were non-medical in training. And I realized there were certain things that needed to be done out here that were sometimes very hard to achieve, whether it's building a wheelchair ramp, building a porch, some home remodeling. And I thought, why not incorporate skilled labor? Why limit everything just to medical? So I brought teachers out here, I brought electricians, carpenters, anybody who wants to give. And the work crew is very busy and very successful in what they do.
The fact that he's added this construction group is perfect for us because we can be part of his team but contribute as well.
They bring fresh air. The new faces and the people that they bring with them seem to invigorate our existing staff that are here throughout the year. Motivates some of the medical staff that are here and gives them the opportunity to discuss certain pathologies that otherwise they wouldn't have that opportunity to talk about.
The one that I can remember that really sticks out in my mind is with Dr. Port, is that he detected, it was 3 cases of colon cancer, and those patients today are survivors. We're like into maybe 5 years with some of those patients that they're still doing well and surviving.
We don't have an orthopedic surgeon. We refer out our orthopedics, and due to financial restraints, a lot of people don't get taken care of unless it's real serious, matter of life, limb, or death. People sort of have to wait in the background until we do have funds to take care of them. So we have somebody that comes in. We're very lucky to have a volunteer by the name of Dr. Mike Liston that comes in from Chicago and volunteers a couple, 2-3 times a year.
None of this would be able to occur without him. He sorts through the patients, triages them, finds out who would benefit from surgery and who wouldn't, helps us through the surgery while we're out there, and then follows them up afterward.
He actually brings 4 nurses with him, besides that volunteer their time, and they came in and did these total knees. These are people who probably would never have gotten their knees done until they reached 65 and could get Medicare. but we're able to get them done earlier.
They provide the orthopedic services throughout the year. Mike comes here 2, 3 times, 4 times a year, doing whatever needs to be done, arthroscopy, surgical procedures, etc.
We have access to a lot of advanced medical equipment and demonstrations of advanced medical equipment, which they don't have access here. So when we come to this area, they're excited to see what we can bring and show them new that will help the doctors here better diagnose the patients.
The Native American population here, the Blackfeet population in particular, there's a lot of glaucoma, a lot of diabetes with diabetic retinopathy. So there are a lot of medical issues related to the eyes that need to have significant attention. So my being here really provides, in my mind, a great service. I provide consultations for difficult cases related to glaucoma, for example. I will do minor surgery here, which is what I'm doing today.
They feel like it's making a difference out here. The people that we've worked for, they really appreciate our work out here.
I've been able to secure through connections through Rotary in Chicago. The doctors here identified a very, very special need in the sense that they're forced sometimes to deliver premature babies just because of distances, and then because of the weather in this area, they have times that they can't get fixed wing nor helicopter aircraft in to do a transfer to a referral center, so they have to maintain that patient, especially prematures. So we arranged for a neonatal ventilator for them to use until they could effect a referral center transfer.
You know, we're doing a little bit, but the little bit that we're doing means a lot.
I'm amazed any Indians have survived at all. It was genocide, and just killing off the buffalo. They knew what would happen if the bison were dead. They wanted the Indians dead, and they wanted them incarcerated and everything. And I hear the stories about when people were in Indian school, they would come to the reservation, take all the kids and cut their hair, which is a sign of somebody's died. So these kids would be taken off the reservation, their hair would be cut, and they thought their families were all dead. And the military ran these schools, and it's just amazing any of them survived. So when I see the Blackfeet today, I admire them for even having survived all this, quote, culture that we have tried to impose on them.
It's a family practice atmosphere, and that's what we come from back in Chicago, but it's a little stronger here, family unit here, as far as having so many people that they're related to in their community. Keeps them together, I think.
Very proud people, very hardworking, very intelligent people and so forth. And like many of the reservations are underprivileged, underserved.
Yesterday here I had a grandma who brought in her grandson and starts telling me about how she's his official guardian because his mother was killed in a domestic violence incident. Those things are the surprising things, the amount of just simmering under the surface. Violence, trauma, drug abuse is just below the surface here all the time.
The people are utterly amazing to me. They're people that don't have much, but they seem very happy, and in a lot of ways seem very happy, but also very giving, very nice people. I mean, it's kind of a nice experience to deal with them. They're very, very grateful that they're getting some help from us.
The nature of the people emanates from the land that they live in, and they're just one with it. It's just beautiful people, very in tune with the world and their own spirituality.
The Blackfeet Nation is a tribe and culture that's steeped with spirituality. And I think when we come out here, it rekindles some of our spirituality too. Of course, they have a great appreciation for nature, Mother Earth, and that also rekindles our interest in that too. So it's a give and take. You know, we come and we give, but we also take back. We take back the experience of working with the Blackfeet Nation, and we learn from them also.
There's been families that have brought their kids. Our kids are grown with kids of their own, so it'd be kind of tough to bring them all out. But some of these guys have brought their families, and these kids have really, and I say kids because they have really pitched in. They've become, and I think I learned some skills doing ramps and stuff that, you know, I never knew before.
I think it's a great idea. In fact, that's why this year I decided I'm going to take my girls next year. I got 3 daughters, Faith, Hope, and Joy, 18, 14, and 12. I'm hoping maybe in the next year or two I have a daughter back at home who's going into high school, and I want to bring her out. That's my next task.
Every time I bought a house, my dad was the first one to come over and teach me how to do different things, and as a result of that, I've kind of learned from him, and I'm passing that on through my kids. Taking those same skills now when I come out to help Joe Matthew and Blackfeet volunteers, doing the same thing here, you know, teaching a lot of other people different things that I learned, you know, over the years, and showing them how to do things that they can then pass on to others as well.
I'm not so naive as to think I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. I found that just broadening my interests has been far more beneficial to my overall practice and professional development. So this adds to my professional development. It just makes me a better pediatrician.
Fortunately for me, I haven't had to deal with a lot of the problems that go on here at the reservation. So I can appreciate what I have more and kind of do what I can to help out others.
I can't describe how rewarding and fulfilling it is to take care of these good people who are so very appreciative.
I think it's my responsibility as a physician to care for people, and it's a situation where I can take care of people who are not being served.
The day you leave, you feel like you've accomplished something. Where, you know, when you go back home, of course, you walk out the door at work and you're like, oh, thank God, the day's over. But here you're like, I really got things accomplished here.
It's a good feeling both ways. I get a lot of good feeling doing it, and they feel good about having it.
It makes me feel good, selfishly.
So it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
It makes you feel good, I guess.
It's a good feeling to be giving back.
You got to give back a little bit.
I always wanted to give something back to the community.
To give back to people who mean something to us.
Absolutely, yes. No, I have a strong faith, very strong faith.
Yeah, because I like to help people in that and to show people that, like, I'm different in that and that I could show, like, God's love to them in that.
Deb and I and the kids are all Catholic. We believe in kind of giving our time and talent to the betterment of the world.
Just to be a good person, it actually cleanses your soul, actually. Makes you more straight up.
It's a very strong motivating factor.
Montana's fantastic. It's just beautiful. We've been coming here. I came a couple of times before the group and toured the park and everything. And I mean, there's just every place you turn is another picture. It's just beautiful.
The beauty of the mountains, the animals running wild, natural.
As they call it, big sky country. Zane, Illinois, you know, it's beautiful snow-capped mountains and these rolling hills and see forever, dry. The other day, we were watching TV and it said the forecast for next week, one of the days is 0% humidity. Now we Chicagoans don't know anything about figures that low on a humidity, so.
You'll see some of the most beautiful sights in the country. I mean, I truly think it's some of the prettiest landscape and prettiest park area, national park area around here.
Going to Montana in the middle of July is like dying and going to heaven. It's the closest you're ever going to get to heaven before you die.
Oh, definitely. My wife's already let us know we're coming back.
I'm going to be doing this as long as I can, as long as I can, you know, get up and come here, and as long as my practice allows it, I'll be here.
And it's very satisfying. So it's a great week.
I will do this every time I can. I mean, I think it's a great experience.
I hope to do it until I can't do it anymore.
You know, I come out here and work, but I kind of look at it as a vacation. I enjoy the people I'm with. I enjoy helping the community. I enjoy the Indians I meet and the friendships I've made.
Come out here, it's awesome.
Keep coming back, you know. We love them, we want them back, they're welcome here, and they're actually a part of us now.
Totally, yeah. I'll be here next year.
I'll be back next year and the year after that too.
Oh yes, I have my family involved.
It's kind of got like a nice family and community feel to it.
It's just an honor and a privilege to be here.
I would definitely like to come back up here.
And I think I know some other people that we can bring along with us.
Yes.
Make the group bigger.
It's nice people, very caring people are volunteers.
It's a vacation, it's a working vacation.
No, I don't see it ending for me until I die.
As long as I'm physically able.
Well, they do good things, that's all I can say.
It's hard to explain to people who don't come out here how much fun this is.
It's cool. It's a lot of fun.
We're always looking for recruits. Anybody who wants to join, whether you're a skilled worker or in the medical profession, whatever, we welcome you, and they can contact me and I'll be glad to give them full information.
I'll never be able to tell them thank you enough.